start off the week with inside Star Citizen, whether you actually talked about the Mighty Bridge and how their sort of cloud test launcher works. Um,
Hello. We talk a lot in the ISC about what developers are making for you, the Star Citizen community. But what you may not know is that in any large games development, there's usually a small team dedicated to making things strictly for the developers themselves. Tools development is at the very heart of what makes game development possible.
I'm just going to stop it there because we don't need to watch the whole lot of it. I'll try and put links in the YouTube video. I know they've spent time talking about the Mighty Bridge, which is basically a tool used sort of, again, connects from some of the other apps to some of the things that they've been doing, some of the stuff used in different apps to use this particular sort of bridge to connect them all together or more easily. And then on top of that, they got this other quite cool little bit of tech, which is the cloud test launcher, because I think they used to try and get people obviously into servers to try and test out stability and things like that. And what they could do now is you can actually go and use, I think, the sort of a cloud rather than using other people's computers within the organization. They can use a cloud to drop certain amount of enemies, certain amount of people into NPCs sort of thing to but from a computer, so it's being simulated from a computer like a player, and then obviously you get to do a bit more testing that way. But yes, we shall see how that sort of hopefully helps flush out the testing and how they get on with that. But again, when I upload this to YouTube, I'm gonna put little sort of what's it called? Little cardboard thingamajig. Oh, I forgot what they're called. Little things to link to obviously each individual thing. So this will hopefully link to the inside. Now Invictus is going to be in 8 days. For those who are new, Invictus is there's two big major events. I feel there's the IAE, which is about all manufacturers, all ships, everything sort of that you can get, and concept sales and everything sort of across the board. Invictus is focusing on the military aspect, so it's military ships. The sort of a celebration of any UEEs, sort of navy and things like that. So what will happen is the 20th to the 31st. There will be a free fly event. So it's a good way to try and get friends and stuff to try it out, and get your link used and stuff like that, and see what happens. And then what we also will have, let's have a look at this. Only 30 seconds long. And that's some pretty cool ships and stuff available to buy. So here's the sort of schedule for it at the moment. Now Drake don't get invited to them, so Drake has its own defense con in a different sort of hall sort of thing. Obviously these two are the biggest, so the first couple of days will be Anvil, then Aegis, but a mix of everything else. Then Drake has its own little thing, and then we have sort of finale. Each day we'll start adding more things on sale. So Anvil stuff first, Aegis stuff, but they should be on sale for the whole event. So when Anvil stuff goes on sale, it'll still be on sale all the way up until the final. So if you're looking for anything particular, or you're wanting to melt stuff and grab new ships for these different lines, remember this is going to be military focused. So if you're hoping to get hold of, like mining ships, things like that, racing ships, anything like that, you won't really find them here. They'll be focusing more towards military or the utility around that. You got Argo. Now, usually what happens is the cargo and the personnel become available potentially because they are used apparently in a lot of the caveat stuff. If you look at the sort of description for an Idris, it talks about being able to carry a couple of fighters and ideally a recovery boat, which will be MPUV. A lot of Drake stuff's on sale because most of them are used mischievously, even though they try and make it sound like they don't. But there you go. So that's something to look forward to. I'll try and put videos up for each day of what's available, what's there, if anything new. Because we're thinking, I mean, it's just a guess, but the fact that this trailer even has the Scorpius, there you go, it's just there. I think you're potentially going to have that available, or 3.17.1 might be launched about this time anyway. So that'd be pretty cool. So it's a good way to pick that up. Now, again, the Star Citizen Live is a thing they do, and it was actually focusing on questions and answers to the new performance upgrades, the fact that they're using a new so the graphics team's using Gen 12 and things like that. Again, I'll chuck a link to that footage. It's about an hour long, so it's quite a lot in there, and it's all the sort of latest sort of updates to the engine. And as you can tell with 3.17, I find with 3.17 not as stable as 3.16, but it runs smoother, if that makes sense. So I don't have so many issues or crashes or anything like that. But sorry, I do have the odd crashes and stuff, but at least when the game works, I don't get lots of FPS drops, performance drops. So, this is still available if anyone's interested. The Expanse is a one-seater refinery ship, which is something that a lot of us have been wanting for quite a while. I'm probably going to melt mine just because I go through moods of wanting loads of single-seater ships to loads of massive ships. So I think Victus was probably poorly timed for what I want to do because I'm going to walk away from it with a Liberator and a Perseus or something like that. But they're still available. Obviously, they got some of the chairman type ones here, standalone stuff. We have that's already done. You've obviously got them on their own. You've also got them in packs. You've also got some quite big packs as well. I find some of these packs are quite interesting. It's the freelancers I'm not a fan of. I know some people are a lot of, but there's a freelancer that always sort of puts me off because the rest of it I think is fine because they have announced that your Drake Vulture will be able to dump its scrap to be refined into its base components in the Expanse. So you've got a pretty cool loop there of having prospectors and vultures using the Expanse to refine their stuff, getting possibly transported onto your freelancer off to for sale or for whatever it needs to be doing. So again, that's a really, really cool loop. I actually hope the Expanse comes into the game earlier than other ships, and more because of that loop. Yes, there's tons of ships that are still, really, really needing to come out. There's tons of ships that really need to be done still. As much as that's a pain in the butt, I think personally I'll prefer game loops to be done than just ships being released. So if it was a choice between some of the ships that even though I would want this to come out, so that's a loop. And that loop means you also add other things. You've got the cargo side of it all. Yeah, thank you, my love. I'll keep an eye on Alfie. Yeah, my son is back at home today. He wasn't feeling very well to pick him up. But this game loop would be pretty cool. So not only for now have you got mining to be refined to put onto cargo ships to be sold. That whole loop, you've got the loop of being attacked, of being pirated and extorted, and the also thing of security to try and make sure they're okay, to make sure they get protection. That whole sort of game loop's open up, and then if salvage does come out as well, if they can get salvage and cargo to actually come out in 3.18, that will add so much for delivery of cargo for piracy as well, and for defense sort of thing, as well as the Vulture will be able to go to the Expanse to refine. So I do want the Expanse to come out soon, because that will literally do a really good loop for piracy, for cargo, for mining, for refinery, and for salvage in one ship. But we shall see. We shall see. Now, we've also had a lore update. Lore update every so often of really good reads. Again, I'll chuck a link into the YouTube video when I get this done. And it's just little points in history of what's happened and things like that. So it's a pretty good read and pretty good to check out if you've got an opportunity to. So what we'll do is also check out the roadmap. And the roadmap was this. Notable changes was basically that they are happy enough with how far they've got with the Scorpius that they have set it as committed. Not a huge amount of stuff, but we should be getting the Scorpius 3.17.1, and I think the 3.17.1 will come out roughly around about Invictus, and we'll just see how he gets on. So yeah, so what I'm planning to do is I'll probably get this uploaded to YouTube, and for now I'll be doing this every Thursdays. Just give a little sort of what's happened over the week. I'll chuck them onto YouTube for anyone to check out if they need to. I plan to do something a little bit better on YouTube side, but currently with working with family and with trying to streaming, I don't have as much time as possible to dedicate to it. So we'll do this for now. And we'll get something better done later.